We've been told so many lies, and we've been working with those things without making our own research. Today I'll be talking about 3 lies they told you about your finances. Stick with me and I know you'll be blessed. Hello and welcome to another episode of Christians, the Life of Christ with Biodun. Today I'll be talking about the 3 lies they told us, majorly about our finances, about how God blesses us. Not to keep you waiting, the first one I'll be talking about is they told us you have to be God's servant before God blesses you. Well, I don't know if everybody still wants to be God's servant, but I think I'm God's son, of which that was the reason why Christ came down here. As it is written in the Bible in John 15:15, Jesus' words painted red. He said, I no longer call you servant because the servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I learned from my Father, I have made known to you. You've been moved from being God's servant and you're now called God's friends. Christ was preaching that. And also, from God's friends, he moved us to becoming God's children, God's sons. And some people are still stuck in being God's servants. You're not entitled to being an heir in his kingdom if you're still called a servant. You are to inherit something. What are you inheriting if you're still called a servant? The sooner you understand that God is your Father, that is when you start walking like a son. You start knowing that, look, I am entitled to this inheritance. And please don't misquote Christ when he was saying, he that wants to be great among you, let him serve. He said, if you want to be great among your own people, be a servant. Serve them. He's not saying serve God. You're a son to God, not a servant to God. You're serving humanity. There's a purpose for you to serve humanity. And if you don't serve humanity, you can't make it. This second point, I saw it on Kenneth Copeland's site. He said, take financial dominion by honoring the tithe. I was like, this is so wrong. Why do we like keeping ourselves back in the Old Testament when we have a New Testator? Look, any preacher that still preaches tithe to his folks in a Pentecostal church, I think he needs deliverance. Better still, he might need a job. Because look, if you have a job or if you know you really know what you're saying, why don't you ask yourself the meaning of Pentecost or the meaning of Pentecostal? That denomination is named after the apostles. And where was it written that the apostles received tithes or offerings? If not for the lies and, like you said, that is one of the keys to financial prosperity. I made a video about tithing recently. I'm going to place the link up there for you to check it out. Go and make your own research. Stop allowing people to bully your finances up and down. None of these guys that you're paying your tithes to died for your sins. The Levites were being paid for a service of bearing the sin of the congregation of Israel. Who is bearing your own sin now? Christ. And where was it stated that he told you to pay your tithes? Nowhere. Those that stayed with him, 12 of those disciples, the apostles were with him, and none of them collected tithes. And damn, why are you still stuck in this place? Okay, let me say, the problem is this, right? Most people are too afraid that they cannot even trust what they see in the Bible because of the nature of what these men preach to you. They hypnotize you to a point that you cannot even tell yourself the truth, even when you're seeing the truth. And you shall know the truth, and that truth that you know shall set you free. The window of heaven, was it closed before Malachi 3:10? Ask yourself. If the window of heaven was closed before Malachi 3:10, then the children of Israel should have starved to death. They lie to you and tell you these are the laws that guide your life when it comes to your finances. That was not what Christ said. Christ said that give and it shall be given unto you. That was what he said in Luke chapter 6. So if what Christ is saying now is irrelevant, and what they are telling you, like, they can't tell you not to give because Christ said so, but they will tell you to give, and that your tithe is very important also, and your offerings are important, but they won't tell you the reason why God told them to start giving those things. I always say this in my channel, that there is nothing God will do without a reason. To a point that he did not form a man that he created in his mind until there was a reason for that man to be formed. You yourself, you were not formed for no reason. There was a reason why God formed you. There is a reason why God formed you. So if you don't understand that up till now, then I don't know what else you would understand. Like, the law guiding us spiritually is love. Christ said this, that love your God and love your neighbor as yourself. Your neighbor might be anybody, regardless of what religion or what language that person speaks. Love is guiding us together. So if you love your neighbor, you should be able to give to your neighbor. Simple. And if you give to your neighbor, it shall be given back to you. As simple as it is. Don't bother about the calculus behind it. All you need to do is to give. If you want to receive, give. He did not say pay. He said give. When you see somebody in need, give. I was hungry, you did not feed me. I needed clothes, you did not clothe me. When you do this for one of these people, you've done it unto me, Christ. You've given to Christ. And my final point is this. It might sound funny, but it's the truth actually. We end up listening to preachers about how to make money when these preachers are not businessmen. When you're supposed to get yourself a mentor, you're looking for a preacher to tell you how to make money. How does he really know how to make money? What business? Except for Nigerian preachers, though, they are really businessmen. Like, the most lucrative business in Africa now is to be a pastor. You see where a pastor is kicking somebody, saying that it's deliverance. You see where they're doing like all sort of nonsense. If you need to make money, get a mentor and be consistent in that your business line. Like, it doesn't matter what business line you're in. All you need to do is to get a mentor in your line of work and pay the price of consistency in that line. You will definitely get there. It was not written anywhere that it was a preacher that taught Job how to make money. Job had his own personal relationship with God, and he was making it as a businessman. So why do you think that you need a pastor to tell you about how to make money when he really doesn't know how to make money? And thank you all for joining me on this episode. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can as well leave a comment in the comment section. Take care of yourself. Bye. Walking